champions. I think we may have reached critical mass for the stream to begin. How are we? What's going on? What's the crack, as they say in Ireland? Sound good? Look acceptable? Yeah, righto, whatever. Just playing with my settings for audio again, just checking I'm not clipping. Checking, hey, yeah. Morning, Dad. Morning, Mum. Gooden. How you going? Gooden's doing the housekeeping. Good on you, champ. Yeats. The woman, Michelle. Hope I'm entertaining you from the warm bed in a different way than usual. Gringo Pig. How you going, mate? Warming up a 78 twin right now. Light service and biasing. Light service on a 78. Wow. Consider yourself lucky. Figured I could peel some paint off my wall real quick too. Well, a twin will do that. Excuse me, my voice is a bit croaky. I've said about 6 words since I woke up. Any thoughts on the Lab L5? Yeah, they're fantastic solid state amps. Morning, Lyle. How you going, legend? So, looks like that clipped. So I've got this Rivera, reportedly Rivera modified thing. No, it didn't clip. I think OBS is just being a bit cautious. Tanner, can you talk through your process for confirming an amp is done before having a customer pick it up? Yeah, well, it doesn't go on fire. The bias is stable. It sounds good. And all the stuff that I found is sorted. I think you're at a bit of a crossroads there, aren't you, Tanner? Because you want to keep amps original, but you want them to function, and often the two are mutually exclusive. So you've just got to assess all the stuff that's wrong and make sure it's all stable. Check all your grounds, make sure everything's rock solid. Bit of percussive maintenance, give it a bit of a probe around, make sure stuff isn't intermittent with movement. Things like the valve sockets, which is critical on old Fenders because they fucking suck. They're made out of like tin foil, the contacts, and they often only hold on to the last 3mm or so of the pin, if that. But yeah, stability. Check it over long term. Let it really warm up, and also triple check it. Test it once you put it back in the cabinet, like thoroughly, because so many times there's been some weird thing that's occurred when I put it back in the cabinet, like the cabinet's twisted a certain way, and when you cinch it down in the cabinet, the chassis twists and things happen, and some perfectly looking solder joint becomes intermittent once you've actually screwed the thing together. Very common. Not just idling. Yeah, looper into the load. I just play it for a while. I don't really use the looper, or I hit it with just signal generator into the scope and put the meter on the output, and if it fluctuates at all, the meter will beep like crazy. So that's another way of doing it. It's a case by case thing. If you've got an amp that's like 3 years old and like, I don't know, the output valves have failed and the screen grids resistors are burnt, it's pretty clear what happened there. So you probably don't have to be as thorough as you do with a vintage amp. Heat gun to the board. Sometimes you might create problems that aren't there. Well, there you go. Lyle said the exact same thing. It's not a very accurate process. And what heat gun are you using? You know, if it's like a paint stripper, you got no control. If it's one of these hot air guns, like designed for SMD rework, you can set the temperature to like 50 degrees if you want. Nice and warm, you know, on your balls, like during winter. I wish I had that thing back in the garage days. Could have just shoved it down my shorts on a cold morning. It would have been great. Just don't bump the temperature setting. So, remember this amp from last time? Oh, yeah, good camera. Why is that? Why am I getting no video? Penny boy, deactivate, activate. There you are. Nothing wrong, just needed to wake her up. So remember this one from last time? That's the supposedly Rivera modified Vibrolux, which is kind of a crime against tonality, but all sorts of mods in this thing. And basically, I haven't traced it out, but just you tracing it out with my eyes, figured out that it's been converted into a 2-channel amp. Not brilliantly. Not something I'd do. If you want a 2-channel amp, go buy a 2-channel amp, you know. Maybe this was probably modified in the late 70s, though, when that shit was still, you know, Mesa Boogie sort of had the monopoly on that. No one had jumped the channel switching bandwagon yet. So I've got to step down, and basically what they've done is on one channel, you got 2 masters over here on dual concentric. So the output, the outer is one channel, the inner is the other channel, and then because that's taken the intensity pot position, now they've used a dual concentric pot for the tremolo settings. Pardon me. Morning. And over here, we've got like the mid-voice switch. It keeps fucking haunting me. The stupid bloody mid-voice switch on every friggin' amp that comes in. So essentially, that's one channel. This is one channel. However, it's got some interaction between the 2 channels, which isn't great. Look, if it was my amp, I'd say, fuck whoever modded this. Fuck whoever did all the weird shit with the load resistor hanging out the back end for when you're not plugged in, and the alternate action foot switch on the back. All the weird stuff. I would revert this right back to a beautiful Vibrolux reverb. But it's not my amp, so we need to just make it do what it's doing, but as well as it can do it, and make it stable and recap it, because the phase inverter node cap's open circuit. It was brought to me simply because it was blowing fuses. So they changed the rectifier valve, and it continued to blow fuses. Look, 3 of the amps that we're going to look at today were diagnosed by the customer. All 3 were diagnosed incorrectly. If your amp fails, don't go to the fucking tech and say, oh, it's just a valve, oh, it's just this, it's just that. You've got no fucking clue what it is. So don't pretend you do. And don't minimize what needs to be done to it to the tech, because that's really fucking annoying, to tell you the truth. Oh, it just needs a preamp valve. It just needs this. It doesn't need much, mate. It doesn't need. It's only just been serviced. Bullshit. All right? Every time someone tells me that, my fucking red flags go off, and whatever they're trying to minimize, whatever they're trying to draw my attention away from and trick me into doing for free, straight now I'm laser focused on that thing, and I'm going to hyper analyze whatever they're trying to minimize, right? So if you, for some reason, think that by telling me that it's not a big problem, all the problems are going to go away and it's going to be cheap to repair, give your fucking head a shake. Not this customer in particular, but I get it so often. Yeah, and worst part, don't try and fix it yourself. Don't take it apart and use your fucking Bunnings Home Depot soldering iron and burn shit. And remove stuff that was perfectly fine and put in stuff you found on eBay. Don't do that. Don't. I'm just going to refuse it from now on, because there's nothing more frustrating than unfucking something before you can actually even diagnose it. And no one wants to pay the extra money for that, even though you've literally doubled the bill by having to go at it yourself. So anyway, all the other techs on the channel will be nodding in agreement with that, because it happens all the time. All right, haunting mids. Where did that originate, the haunting mids? Because everyone uses it as a joke. Hello, Psionic Audio team. What? This is Nancy Evans from the HoYoverse team, and I represent HoYoverse Global Influencer Program. Would you mind provide your name and preferred salutation going forward? What the fuck? They want me to pimp phone games to my... Oh my god. It's automatic. Like, if there was actually a person sending that shit, they'd give up pretty quickly, wouldn't they? Because they get no reaction at all. Yeah, I got a few pedal guys trying to do a promo spot on the start of the videos and stuff, but JHS made a haunting mids pedal as a spoof. But yeah, but where did it come from though? Because they're just taking the piss of it. A few of the smaller pedal manufacturers, some of which I've seen their stuff and I wasn't impressed, so I'm not gonna market them to any degree. Wanted promo spots, and I just said thank you but no. As soon as we start promoting stuff, our opinions are compromised. So why would we do that just for a bit of cash? I get my colleagues saying, yeah, take it, man. I'd take it. I'd take that shit in a second. But I'm like, okay, maybe that's why, you know, I don't know. It's just, as soon as you start taking money for your opinion, you're compromised. So I'm not interested. You got one from Logitech. Huh. You know what? If it was something completely unrelated to guitar, I'd probably be more open to it, you know? Like if it was, you know, I'm trying to teach you guys to moisturize. So if it was men's moisturizer, ooh, I might have to take a little sample of that and try it out. You know what I'm saying? You know, on the old elbows. There's nothing worse than when you get older and your elbows start to dry up. It's weird, man. Moisturize your elbows, champions. My god, I'm on a fucking tangent. I get a lot of Chinese Amazon request stuff, but I will say some of it has been useful. That heart in the corner of the chat's really annoying. You can't read comments. I've got a wireless guitar amp which I've used as a way to check for noisy resistors in circuit. A wireless guitar amp which I use as a way to check for noisy resistors. What? How? Can you... I'm not saying you don't, but can you just fill me in? In the words of the Virgin Mary, fill me in. Hey Brad, what was that rust stopper your dad used on the radio chassis? That was Penetrol. And it's got a bit of a horny sounding name, but it's made by a company called Flood, also known to produce 9 Inch Nails albums. Flood Penetrol. Penny boy, wake up, champ. What are you doing to me? You were focusing yesterday. I tested you and everything. And as soon as I hit go, do you need a memory card to focus? Hey, there we go. AFC. Ah, I flicked it over to manual. Why did I do that? Was I testing something? Sorry, Penny boy. Penetrol. Penetrating primer oil. Makes paint stick to almost anything. So you can use it as a primer before using like enamel based paints. Rusted seal, blah, 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 blah. It just increases penetration, champions, and who wouldn't want more of that? So I'm using it not really for its purpose, but it actually works really good for that. I don't even really know how you're supposed to use it originally. Yeah, so you're just supposed to apply it before on shitty rusty paint, but it's not a neutralizer, so it doesn't convert the rust to it's not like phosphoric acid or whatever the neutralizer is. So I wouldn't be trusting it for like full-on rust removal permanently, you know, make it fucking perfect again like vintage car stuff. But for old chassis where you just want to stop it in its tracks and get rid of most of it mechanically, works fine, champions. I can't read that fucking screen. Are my eyes getting worse or is that font smaller? Thank Brad, I recall saying that I replaced the valve, the amp shit itself. Oh, Andrew, how you going, champion? I shat myself and brought the amp to you, saying do whatever you need to. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Andrew. All right, I'm not referring to this to your interaction with me at all. I'm talking about people who I usually reject their job because they bring it in and they've burnt the living fuck out of it by trying to fix it themselves. This one here, you changed the valve. That led me down a rant. That's all. It's nothing to do with you. Changing that valve, valve was probably fucked, to be honest. The main reason, which I'll get into now, I do want to do a video and a quote and everything on this, but the main reason that valve would have been fucked, excuse the French, I'm dealing with a customer now. Sorry, I'm very unprofessional. I've been told that many times. So, the main reason that valve probably failed is, I'm talking the rectifier valve. There's two reasons. One is there's too much filter capacitance on the first node, and that's a quick way to destroy a valve. I think from memory that is the correct valve, but some of the variations, well, some of the generations of this used a 5U4 as well. This has got a GZ34 or a 5AR4, same valve. It's specified at 60 microfarads input. However, this has got 3 20s in parallel. It's got the 2 20s underneath, which used to be 16s. Part of the sound of the Vibrolux is not much filtering. This filtering's been upped because essentially this amp's been turned into something that it's not. So they've upped the filtering on the first stage to what should be 60 microfarads, which is right on the edge for a 5AR4. But measuring them, they're pretty wide tolerant. So it's actually got 90 microfarads on the first stage. So that is one hit against the rectifier valve, and that probably caused that one you changed out to fail. The one that's in there is good. The other thing I found, and this would have been exactly what was causing your fuses to blow and possibly contributed to the death of that rectifier valve as well, you've got a shorted bias cap, and that's that one I've isolated out of circuit there. Internal temp Sorry about that, champions. So, I was testing my camera yesterday with 4K recording, seeing how long it would record for, before it overheated or shut down or ran out of battery. And I forgot to change it back to HD, so it overheated on me. Just got the fan on it now. Bear with me. He's just over there. Alright, so Andrew, where were we? The main reason you were blowing fuses is essentially that cap. It was shorted. But as I said before, we've got a fail phase inverter cap as well. So there's no filtering at all. It's the same ripple as the mental blank screen grid node. So exactly the same ripple on the phase inverter as the screen grid, and we've got about 20 millivolts of ripple on the first preamp node as a result, because that filtering's been pushed back by a spot, by a node. So what I suggest we'll do, Andrew, is we'll maintain the architecture of this amp if you want to keep it as is. We'll get it stable. We'll get it recapped. The valves are okay. They're actually remarkably closely matched. It was biased very cold as well, so that's not contributing much to the tone. No. Yes, it was, and I changed that. Yeah. The bias circuit was wired wrong, so it wasn't a proper voltage divider, and changing the pot for the bias trim did nothing. It's wired incorrectly. I've taken notes, taken a few photos on that. So I've fixed up the bias circuit just to get it stable, and so we can have a listen. It's still got the def cap installed at the moment. The switch is in the center, so that's fine. It's not shorted, but I'm going to remove that no matter what. We're going to replace the cord. Now, I was going to give you an option. Do you want to change this to 240 volts and replace the power transformer with a Hammond? And that way you do away with a step down, and we'll replace the cord with a 240 volt one at the same time. If not, I can replace that with a nice molded US plug. I do have US plugs here as well. I like molded cords with the safety end on them, just for if people want to keep the 110, 120 volt, whatever, but just upgrade the cord. Yeah, how's this, Andrew? You're getting a one-on-one consultation. This is value for money, bro. But otherwise, it is sounding, I believe, as it was intended. However, I don't think it sounds very good. But that's just that's like my opinion, man. It's very middly and honky. No top end real detail or sparkle like you'd expect from a Fender. Partially because they've left in all the snubber caps, which are in place to prevent oscillation, which could have been addressed by just cleaning up the wiring, the lead dress, essentially. So there's many different ways we could go with this amp. So what I might do is we'll get a quote together for the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes, and then from there we'll have to look at various different options depending on how you want to go. Do we want to voice the thing? Do we want to make it as good as it can be with the current configuration? It's a bit tricky because, as you can see, there's stuff going all over the amp. There's a LDR power supply retrofitted to it with tag strips everywhere, dropper resistors all over the shop. You got bits of coax going back and forth. You got stuff next to other stuff, which isn't ideal from a crosstalk point of view. That's why we're getting leakage between the channels. There's like some stuff that's been ignored, like just some bad grounds and stuff up the front end. The mains over here is pretty unsafe. There's melted wires literally from one line of the mains, like neutral to active, touching each other. If I pulled that wire, you'd probably have a hard mains short pre-fuse. That's like fire territory, or at least tripping your circuit breaker. All the grounds on the transformer hardware should be removed from the transformer hardware because they're unreliable. I was measuring as much as 1 ohm from the ground pin of the cord to the chassis. So there's about 1 ohm resistance there, which is not good, and that's with the low ohms meter, like accurate as all frig. And just everything needs a good clean up. There's no wax on the board, so either this is pre-waxing or it's been removed, but a lot of the stuff looks factory. Like, you can just tell the solder joints have been there for a long time. So yeah, there's many different ways we could go with this thing. In my opinion, I'd take it back to a Vibrolux, because in my opinion, it's one of the best amps Fender ever made. Flood is a TMBG album. TMBG. Refresh my memory. Penetrol from Bunnings. That's the one, Dad. I still don't want to do ads for products, even though I do love my Logitech mouse and keyboards. Logitech used to make the best stuff, I think. I'm not sure what they're like now. Kind of wouldn't mind one of those big clickety-clackety keyboards, just to really sound like you're getting work done, you know? It sounds almost like a typewriter. Scotty, my Classic 50 has the chassis rust problem they all get, so I was going to get one of those final replacements, but I need to stop the rust. In that case, Scotty, it's a bit tricky, because the rust is probably literally the plating getting moisture under it. So if you just use Penetrol, the rust will still, it's like filiform corrosion. It'll go under the film, under the plating, and continue to spread. You kind of need to just wire brush the living shit out of it. However, the Classics, that rusted surface, I believe, is a lay-on, so it's like 0.5 mil stainless or something that's layered on top of the steel chassis, because the actual chassis itself is steel. So you could just take that off. It's probably just double-sided foam taped on. Just heat it up a bit, remove that, and then just put the vinyl overlay directly onto the powder-coated steel, which generally doesn't rust. I may be wrong there. Maybe thinking of another amp, but I'm pretty sure they have a fascia. Gooden, another channel I watch, said he must be a legit successful YouTube now, because some company sent him a free e-bike. I said you're successful when crypto spam, sex bots, and WhatsApp impersonators arrive. Free e-bike. Nothing's free, bro. Nothing's free. Can't believe we've still got to say that to people, but anyway. I did a tech bench video. It's there linked, and that's that. Your link may not have worked there, Yeats, because you're not a moderator. But flick it to me, I'll have a look. I'll use navel jelly. Navel jelly? Is that like jelly that you put in your navel? Penetration is paramount. Is that what Ted said? I thought he was a bit more polite than that. Not a scumbag like me. For the record, I will gladly haul myself out for cameras, lenses, lighting, and high-end mic pre's. Yeah, for the record. Might want to put that out there. But anything worth, well, anything that we'd want for free, they're not going to give to us, because we're not a photography channel. I am, however, working... Oh, okay, so you're talking about the wireless thing. Okay. I am, however, working on some wireless gear for gigging stuff, which has been great. I told them I don't do review videos, but I'll mention my actual experience where relevant. Yeah. Like, I'll recommend a product, but I won't take payment to recommend it. Because if I did, you couldn't trust the next product that I recommended, because, you know, I'm getting paid for it. I had to use Shell's pink cup. Like rose gold. See my old rusted basement videos. Yeah, that was good for rust treatment. Generally, you need to neutralize it with an acid. And then you need to neutralize the acid. And then coat it with something to prevent it from reoccurring. And it's not an easy process. You need to mechanically remove heavy rust. Because although it is porous, the outer layer of rust will protect the inner layer of rust from neutralization. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You need a wire brush on a grinder. And take that bitch down to the fucking base metal. Not fun. especially on a chassis when you got to get into corners and stuff, because that's where the moisture collects in like flood damage and whatever. The chrome is beyond gone now, it's just bare metal. Okay, remove it, then spray it with some black Krylon. Jesus, we're way back. That's when the video messed up. Ginger sprinkles. Are you talking about my freckles? All products reviewed on my channel were paid for out of product. Yeah, out of pocket. Sorry. Nobody would send me free products anyway because my videos aren't monetized. Therefore, YouTube won't promote them. Yeah, if you're just doing it for fun. Lucas, how you going, mate? How you going, Sean? How you going, Andy? Got a few latecomers? You're 6'2", are you, Gooden? Jesus. So, in summary, Andrew, I'll get you the quote for the first step on this thing over the weekend. The stuff that we have to do. And then we'll go from there, because there's a few layers in this onion, so... But for now, let's have a listen, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, tonality-wise. Let's go through the actual cab speaker, although I am set up. Let's just go through my cab. Close back, but I just don't have time to rearrange everything. Just have a quick listen. Plug in the Mo2. Turn off the noise suppression for a moment. I tried Penetrol and it peeled off like a layer of jelly when the alcohol contacted it. Yeah, so yeah, you don't put solvents on it afterwards. Removed it and left a fine film of WD-40 on the chassis. Ping! Let's go into my cab. My Cabatha. Alright, let's set everything at halfway. Just to get a good... So I've made some little jacks because the foot switch input is now one of the inputs to the second channel, because obviously it's channel switching. You've got the two inputs up here, wired to the first stage, just like any Fender. But now these aren't of any use because there's no second channel because it's all switched with LDR. So what I've done is made a dummy plug. This one is just tip to sleeve, and I've got another one which is well, that's tip to sleeve too, but because it's mono, that's like a blanking plug, tip, ring and sleeve to ground, all connected together, and this one's just tip and sleeve connected together. So this is how you access the different channels. Now I've got to reverse engineer the LDRs because I'm not sure what the other mode is for. It doesn't sound like it's any use. The other thing is when you don't have a pedal plugged in, you get no signal. You just get leakage because it's cut off. It's both the LDRs are off, so you get nothing but a bit of leakage. And that does indicate how much leakage is getting through the LDRs and probably through the HT as well, since it's got no filtering on some of the nodes because the caps are worn out. And there is a bit of cauliflowering happening on one of them as well. So we could well turn this on and one of the caps explodes, so that'd be exciting, wouldn't it? So I'll just pop this in to access channel 2. So yeah, we've got 116 volts. That's actually a really good step down. There's a company in Australia called Tortec. and they make all sorts of transformers and step downs and stuff. That's what's powering the dick lamp over there. There, I've got that running on 120 volts because it looks better at lower voltage, and the filament will last forever. Put your eye protection on. Nah, it'll just shoot at my guitar. It'll make it a relic. But yeah, their step-down transformers are really good. I might sell them, stock them, because I often get asked, oh, you know, what's a good step-down transformer? And all the Amazon, eBay ones are pretty sketch at the best of times. So yeah, I don't know that they're made in Australia. There's Australian standard stickers all over it, and the transformer, you know what? I think that transformer is made in Australia. Full isolation. Because it's got the sticker and stuff on there, and it shows the address of the shop under the film of the transformer. It's got nice heavy duty steel, like 1.6mm steel. I'll have a look at it when I get this amp out of the way. We'll just have a quick listen, and then we'll get this amp off the bench and onto the next one. So there's some pull stuff there, which switches other LDRs. There's so much going on in this thing. I think that's a boost, and there's another pull switch there, which is a cap going across a mix resistor. So that's probably like a bright cap on the mix resistor on the output of the preamp. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on in this amp, but bias wise it's stable now. I'll just mute my mic and get a level for the guitar. One sec. All right, let's go for it. Now that doesn't sound too bad until you realise treble's on 10. So it's pretty dark. But you pull out the treble knob and now you got that bright cap on the mix resistor, and that gives you a bit of top end again. There is some weirdness happening there with the bass pot as well. Almost sounds like a DC shift occurring when you move it. Could just be a dirty pot though. There's some crackling. That's probably one of the caps about to blow up in my face. So it's not terrible. It sounds, you know, okay, a little bit dark, but that's the drive channel. So yeah, I mean, if you're after that smooth sort of overdrive tone, it's kind of got it. Let's go back to the first channel, which I can access by half pulling that thing out, the thing with the stuff. Alright, I think we're there. Oh, that's the other thing I might add. The clean channel's got no reverb because he hasn't linked the reverb to both channels still. So it's still only reverb on this channel, which is the overdrive channel. If anything, you'd probably want the reverb just on the clean channel, wouldn't you? Yeah. So no reverb or tremolo on the clean channel. It's literally just like a normal channel. So just from like a use case point of view, you've got a master on a channel that kind of doesn't need it because it's clean. And when you turn the volume all the way up, there's been no modification to that first couple of stages. So there's no overdrive. So you've just basically defeated the purpose of having a master volume on that channel in the first place. And no tremolo or reverb to the clean channel. Reverb is working, however, and tremolo is as well. I'll get a switch and show that. The tremolo depth isn't great. It's pretty shallow, but that's probably because the bypass cap on that oscillator is starting to fail. It'll lose its capacitance, go out of tolerance. So that will be resolved with a recap as well. So tonality wise, it does have a pretty smooth breakup. It's pretty dark. We could probably open that up by removing those two snubbers on the output stage on the valve sockets there. See you, Lyle, take it easy. And yeah, just do all the other stuff we mentioned. I don't have any idea why they've got that dummy load on the speaker switchable with a foot switch though. That's really weird. We do have a bit of fluctuation in the bias there. Just keeping an eye on that. There is some crackling and stuff happening as well, which could be anything, man. Like, it could be one of these jacks, could be one of the pots, could be one of the switches, could be board leakage, could be one of the valves. At this point, there's no real way of knowing until we do the stuff that's got to be done anyway. Bloody hell, Martin. Sorry to hear that, mate. I had no idea. Good, and I've got a sheet metal soldering iron that's nearly the size of a mortar shell. What? I'm going to post a picture of it next to a 50-watt iron. That's not an iron. This is an iron. Yeah. Could be a Metaltronics. Yeah, something's clipping ugly. There's a whole bunch of weirdness happening in it, so... Yeah, Tortex stuff's great, eh, Peter? I'll be checking out some of their other stuff too and seeing if they actually... I think they even manufacture they manufacture like custom transformers. We are thinking about going to Scotland perhaps next year, Martin. So if that happens, I'll let you know. Alright, focus. Alright, let's get our game faces on. I feel very unorganised and just not in... Head's not in the game this morning. Got shit everywhere. I need to just clean up for a minute, I think. I think I was going good until that camera messed up. Now that's just thrown me through a loop. Through a hoop. Meters can go away for the moment, because we're going to work on some solid state stuff. Full of safe stuff. I'm getting lots of angry emails. The angry emails have started, champions. From Americans wondering why I can't ship anything to them. They don't seem to realise, despite me saying it multiple times, that I can't do anything about it. I think I'm holding out on them or something. There is a guy in America making Marshall replacement boards. However, he is trash talking me on all the forums. So if a tech and an engineer has enough time to trash talk someone on forums and, you know, dwell in the underbelly of the internet, one must ask why he can only produce like 3 boards at a time. Maybe if he shut the fuck up, got off forums and built the fucking boards, he might have some decent stock and be able to supply his local market. But he doesn't. He'd prefer to talk shit on the internet. So it'd be good. I wish him well. I hope he manufactures the things and can supply the local market. However, he was saying that mine are too expensive and it's ridiculous what I charge for them, and then his webpage showed pretty much the same price. I'm pretty sure he's another one of these Americans that's unaware of, you know, there being different currencies in the world. Because he's advertising them for about the same price, and then at the bottom of his list he says, oh, for this run's cheap, but for the next run I'm going to have to charge $100 more. So he's going to be more expensive than me, despite him trash talking my pricing on the internet. He's clearly not all there. But I hope he can manufacture some stuff and keep people happy, because at the moment I can't. I've got boards in stock and all I can ship to is everywhere except the States. He did say Brad's not a professional. He's not a PCB designer and a professional PCB engineer like I am. Okay. If you're so fucking professional, how about you just shut the fuck up and make some boards, eh? Ever since I learned that Roland makes some 5 and 8 inch twins, I feel like making a tiny twin. I really enjoy my Katana Air. You know what would be cool? To make a mini twin, but like with some like Eminence fucking 100-watt drivers. Oh, you came down with COVID last Tuesday. I haven't eaten any solid food in 3 days. Shit, man. Everything just blows right through me. God. Started on an antiviral yesterday. I'm feeling better. No more fever, but weak. Well, you would be weak after not eating for 3 days, mate. Yeah, take care of yourself. And that is one of those rare sort of side effects of it. The diarrhea thing. It was sort of in only like 1 in 10 cases. Oh, the transformer fits in my little trolley. That's cute. I love it when I find a nice, convenient little home for something. Put my ground clip there, because I'm going to use it again. And I'll just get that ashdown out of the way. You remember the ashdown from last week? Where all 3 speakers were blown? But the customer supplied me with the transformer and just wanted the transformer changed, even though there was nothing wrong with the transformer. That's what I'm talking about, if you're still here, Andrew. That kind of customer. He's a good guy, but yeah. Did you hear that barking spider? Hey, Victor. How you going, legend? I actually own a literal Roland JC200 head. 200 head? I didn't know they made a head. Well, Boss can make a dimensional chorus Roland's chorus is patented, but now I actually want to look up the patent to see the disclosure. Yeah, have you ever seen some cockhead on like a forum or something say, "Oh, I've got this highly secret patented mod." Well, you can't patent something without disclosing it, bro. So no, you don't. Stop talking out your ass. Yeah, a highly secret patented procedure. It's like the two are mutually exclusive. You can't have something a secret and a patent. They don't know what patent means. This is why I left all the Facebook groups. This is the first time I've gotten COVID. Oh, really? Your first time, Gooden? I call bullshit. Brad is one of the most competent techs. Please don't judge us all by one tweet. I'm not judging anyone by that guy except for that guy. So don't worry about that, Andy. That's not what I meant. Local pharmacies are out of vaccine. Otherwise, I would have got a booster shot several weeks ago. Kia ora. I know where you're from. Dave. You crossed the Dutch. Yes, I missed out on the full stack for like a $1. Sounds so much cooler when you say $1. It's not $1,000, it's a $1 USD, but I couldn't get to Florida to pick it up. Just had the 200 watt head. That's right. The speakers that Roland uses aren't very nice anyway, so don't worry about it. I think Shell's picking up a Valve radio today. There was a local one, and his master's voice, HMV, made in Sydney, for sale for like $45 locally. Not working, but it's got white Bakelite, and it's just a tiny crack in one of the grills, but someone's glued it again, so we should be able to clean that up with the Dremel and polish it, and see what the guts are like. Might be a good first radio project for me, because up until now I've just given them all to Dad. Although I might give it to Dad too if he wants it. He's got 1 million radios, so what's one more? Patents are... Oh, fuck off. Patents are only worth it if you pay lawyers to defend them. Yeah. I mean, they're a deterrent, you know. But if you're actually going to go someone, you still got to pay for a lawyer. Often patents are just waved around like a dick waving contest. Like, look at me, I have a patent. Okay, well, that thing that I do 50 times a day, you sat down and you described it in painful detail because you got no fucking jobs to do. Now you've got a patent on it. Yeah, good for you, dickhead. If you want to be a purely academic nerd instead of actually getting some shit done, I guess if that's where your priorities lie, then I'd rather get some shit done. I'd rather give results to musicians so they can make beautiful art with it, and I can go see them live instead of sitting in a darkened room and painfully describing some menial task that I do every day. Like, I don't know, making a guitar cable. It seems pretty cringe to me, the whole patent thing. Fuck, everything's been done before, champions. Oh, Jesus, that was a bit confronting. US patent equals offshore blueprint. Yeah. It's like a guide on how to rip us off. Oh, fuck yeah. This is how you do it. Thank you. Come again. I've seen the same old 73 Rand large E90 on a marketplace not working down to $60. Thought about it, but I've got enough half-finished projects. Yeah, finish those projects, Pete. It feels real good to finish them off and get them out in the world. Fender inherited any Sun patents when they picked them up, if there were any left. Normally the doc would have prescribed Paxlovid for my COVID, but that drug interacts with my blood thinners. That's complex. So prescribed a non-generic med that cost me $230 after insurance. Jesus, for one run of it. I like patents because they tell me how very expensive things work sometimes. The company I work for has a bunch of value IP that's not patented, as that requires disclosure, as you said. Yeah, well, that's right. As soon as you patent it, you've got to disclose what it is. If it's secret, you can't patent it. If you want it to remain secret. I wonder how many old PV patents are still valid. Well, don't they stay valid forever? Or is there like a what do you call it? Period where it stops being a thing? Public domain? There's only 2 people alive that know what's actually in Coke. Well, don't they have to literally disclose that from a health point of view? Because it's like a consumable. Patents expire. Okay, they do expire. 20 years. Okay, right. Yeah, I did know that, actually. I think I read into them when that crazy shit about the patenting how to make a guitar cable came up. Enjoying the rants this morning, spot on. People will get upset. Every time I rant, people take it too seriously and they're like, I'm unsubscribing. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. So, that Ashdown with the 3 blown speakers had a tweeter as well. Don't know why, but it had 2 whizzer cones. So these go up to like 17k, which is more than enough. I was looking around all my local speakers suppliers that would normally have stuff like this. They tend towards hi-fi stuff. So finding a whizzer cone is actually a bit of a complexity in an 8-inch speaker nonetheless. The 10-inch Eminence something or other. One of their bass drivers, the Legend, has a whizzer cone. But it was like $230 or 300 and something bucks. And somewhat beyond the budget of an Ashdown acoustic amp. So I found these of all places on DigiKey. I was sort of getting desperate and I'm like, DigiKey's got a few speakers. They've got BOFA and I've actually found some speakers on DigiKey that I couldn't find anywhere else. And I was quite surprised. Some from BOFA. The local supplier here that used to do BOFA is doing very few BOFAs now, which is a bit annoying because BOFA was so popular in Australia in the 80s and 90s, and you've got all these speakers out here with BOFA drivers with the specific cutouts for them and stuff, and the impedance and the crossover set up for them, and now you can't really get them here, but it's great to get them from DigiKey. And this one here is actually a German speaker. Visaton, and it looks almost identical to the one that's in it, so that's cool. And I think the power rating is a bit higher, so we've got a margin of about 25 watts between 2 of these installed, and what the output power is on that Ashdown amp. And these are only like, I can't remember, they're like 70 bucks each or something, 60 bucks each. So right in the sweet spot. Right in the cash gooch. So a whizzer cone. It's not a separate driver, it's just an attachment to the cone. See, it's smaller there, but it's higher resonant frequency means it can reproduce higher frequencies than the main cone itself. So it basically extends the frequency response in the top end. So let's pop them in the amp. We'll forget about the tweeter. I'll just leave the tweeter in situ because these will produce enough treble, and that tiny little cone tweeter is just asking to fail again if I've replaced it, and putting a dome tweeter in there could work, but we'll see how it sounds with just I think the 2 replacements will be more than adequate in the treble. After we've done that, we'll just give the thing a bit of a clean. Send her on its way. Might have to remove the transformer. Oh no, hang on, that's just the one sitting there. Ah. Got some wires all over the shop. Disconnect the tweeter. Just leave its little cap attached and just cut the leads. I will leave it installed so it plugs the hole. We'll just leave it out of circuit. Out of circuit. Not many crocs in the Nepean River, yeah. The pricing perennium. Good one. Rants are great, nothing funnier than watching people get annoyed. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason, like, Faulty Towers was this success. It's too small of an ingredient group, so it goes in verbiage like natural flavour, which is tested for toxins, not composition. Oh, okay. Interesting. Sergeant Grinch, how you going, legend? Oh, I heard something about that, Pete Ross. Was that the COVID jab that had the Boss HM1 schematic installed for 5G coverage? Yeah. What was that about? That they put the cookers, that's what we call the fucking lunatics. Someone seeded one of their fucking forums with a schematic of an HM1, that's a Boss heavy metal pedal, and said that it was the schematic of the microchip that's in the fucking COVID. And they all fell for it because they're all fucking idiots. It was a Boss HM1 schematic. But you call them out on it and they just double down, so whatever. You do you, man. I remember at work every quarter legal would crap their pants because they always took patent renewals out of the budgets, then realised the competition was just going to mash them if they didn't pay out. Yeah. Here in US, contains natural and artificial flavours is considered to be sufficient disclosure of ingredients. Wow. Brad, do you hunt down crocodiles to make your own boots? No, I don't, actually. Crocodiles are fucking scary. I wouldn't go anywhere near one. Yeah, alligators, man. You can pat an alligator. They're pussies. Crocodile will fucking eat you whole. Viva did once make some great hi-fi drivers. They still do. I think they're still in business. Just the local retailer here that used to sell their stuff doesn't anymore. They sell Peerless, SB Acoustics, ScanSpeak, a few other brands. SB Audience, I think, is the budget one. I've got some dipole 8-inch here. What, like a dipole subwoofer? Visaton horn driver. Huh, really? I'd never heard of Visaton before, but yeah, I'll keep an ear out for him now. Like I say, it looks a little bit different to the Ashdown one, but there's a possibility that they're the ones making them. The surround looks different. It's a lot stiffer. And a lot bigger whizzer. Yeah, completely open circuit. Like I say, with Ashdown, they've got a reputation for overrating their speakers, so the amount of Ashdowns that come in here with blown speakers is fucking crazy. And the Ashdown sent me an angry email. And they didn't refute anything I said, they just said, like, you shouldn't be saying that. I'm like, well, okay, but what I said's true. And they're like, you're being misleading. I go, yeah, but what I said is true. And then I didn't get a response. It's like, well, if you're gonna tell me that what I'm saying's not true and provide evidence, I might sort of, you know, concede to some degree, but you're literally saying that I just shouldn't say stuff. Like, your speakers aren't rated. It says it right on the fucking... So, the one in question was a short that I put up, and there was a sticker like this, blue line as well, I think, and you peel the... It said 250 watt or something, and you peel the sticker off, and it said, like, 120 watt. And they said, that's peak versus RMS. So it's true, it's just peak. I'm like, yeah, but you're selling this cabinet with a 500 watt amp. It can't handle 500 watts. Your amp, I measured your amp, it's putting out 500 watts RMS. So your power rating on the back of the amp is 500 watts RMS, even though it doesn't say RMS. And on the back of your cabinet, it says 500 watts. It doesn't say RMS or peak. It doesn't say RMS or peak on the amp. So what does a musician do? He grabs a 500 watt amp and he plugs it into a 500 watt cabinet thinking he's sweet. But he just plugged it into a 250 watt cabinet and blows the piss out of the speakers. So what's your answer to that? You're selling the cabinet with the head. And I just didn't get a response. So I guess that's them saying, admitting that they're fucking idiots, basically. I don't know. It's weird. Any tube circuits are over 60-year-olds. Patents expired years ago. Yeah, decades. Almost 100 years ago. George Carlin made a career out of ranting. Yeah, he sure did. Classic 4chan trolling. Gotta go shopping, Victor. Enjoy, mate. Gig tonight. Chuck Trailers. The customer just told me about them. Chuck Trailers, a new bar in Sydney. Stages inside a half pipe. Working out the logistic of getting my shit home to the burbs via public transport so I can enjoy some beers. Hang on, Pete. Aren't you out, like, way out west? Yeah, Chuck Trailers. Let's have a look. A customer just told me about it this week. A new venue. Something happened between the promotion company and the local bar here that was doing metal shows, and it doesn't sound pretty. Of course, they said the legalese, non-disclosure, you know, we wished them best and whatever, but they said that the arrangement was incompatible or whatever. So I don't know what happened, but it sounds like someone wasn't getting paid. So that's terminated, which sucks because that was a good metal venue out here. Desk chair. All right, so here's the new place. Chuck Trailers. Oh, it's got a, what is that? It's got a chicken bone as a mouse pointer. It's got a drumstick. Sydney and Bondi. That's a long chip. Wow. They got Whistle Pig. And a few others. Is that, oh, they got the Texas Balcones. That's a good whiskey. You got some nice bottles there by the looks of it. Booze Grub. What's on? Very high resolution photos. Alright, so we've got a gig guide. So what's today? The 6th. So Mail Order Cowboys. Is that your band, Pete? Mail Order Cowboys. Pisco Sour. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to go into the city. Drag 6 out of his cave. What do we got booze wise? Let's have a look at the whiskey menu. Beers. Zoom would be nice. What do we got? VB. We've got the generics with single fin. Young Henry's. I'm not a fan of Young Henry's. Chuck's All American Pale Ale. I'll try that out. Bolter XPA. That's a good good standard one. Why can't I click away? Alright, so that's all on tap. Okay. Boilermakers. Buffalo Trace. Herradura, which is a good tequila. Jack Daniel's rye with a Bolter IPA. $30. Fuck. Hope that's a pint. Slut drops. Drop the shot glass straight in the beer to create an impromptu cocktail. Jesus, I'm not 16 anymore. 18 anymore. Cocktails. Old fashioned. Spirits. Now we're talking. What do we got? Bourbon. Jesus, look at all the bourbons. Look at all American whiskey. And real whiskey. Scotch whiskey. Holy shit. That's quite the menu. We've got Hibiki. And like 20 different types of tequila. And mezcal. Wow. That's impressive. Well, if we go there, we might be coming out a bit buckled with that kind of menu. Anyway, let's go back to the what's on. Vans Warped. Iconic moments from the history of Vans Warped Tour. 50% off wings. Buy one, get one free. Get the whole chicken. Looks very good. I'll have to check that place out. Brad's salty on salties. We call saltwater crocodile salties over here. And this Dyne Audio, they made some seriously good drivers. Yeah, Dyne Audio stuff is fantastic. It's expensive, but it's great. Hi Brad, I'm having an issue with a solid state amp I have. Channel 2 is on full volume no matter what I have it set on. Could be a bad pot. Yep, definitely could be a bad pot. Could be a bad cracked solder joint to the pot. Could be a cracked wafer on the pot. Yeah, it sounds like you got a bad pot or a bad connection to the ground side of the wafer. So inspect it closely. Sometimes you, the other thing it could be is the rivet on the pot has lost its tension, so sometimes you can bring them back just by squeezing it with some needle nose pliers, but generally you probably want to replace it. If it's been a bit open, then some corrosion could have worked its way between the rivet and the trace on the wafer. Libel slander versus true. Yeah, well, that's the thing. When people threaten you with defamation, they use it as a deterrence, but it's not defamation if you can prove that it's true. Like, you're just going to spend all your money and you're going to have to pay me for all my legal costs as well. So fine, if you want to go bankrupt, then okay, it's up to you. You do you, man. Band brings 1,000 people in. People drink $30,000 or $40,000 in alcohol that night. Owner says you can't pay the band $1,500. Yeah, that's probably what it is, Scotty. Although 1,000's overestimate because if we're talking about Elton Chong, that place can maybe have 100 people max, which is probably part of the reason they can barely pay people. Got to go. See you, Andy. Have a good one, mate. Typical owner rhetoric. I made more money in the 80s than anyone does today. Yeah, unfortunately I was non-existent for most, or almost half of it. I was a zygote for 9 months, and then I was a useless little drooling arsehole for the rest of the 80s. You had a terrible drug alcohol habit because 90s. Really? Well, I'm glad that you got out of it, Scotty. I assume you got out of it. I was making $3,000 as a tech. $3,000 a week as a tech in the 90s. Wow. PBR. Exotic. What's PBR? It's good after you mow the lawn in August. Oh, the beer. Any decent single malts? Yeah, there's heaps, man. 50% off wings. You only get the left wing. Hey, Ben. Eric the Lost. Yeah, try that out, mate. Sounds like it's not too complex an issue. The only other thing it could be is if you got a channel switching between two masters, you could have a problem with the relay or whatever switching mechanism there is there. 3,000 a month. I was going to say, Scotty, 3,000 a week's pretty up there. Sorry, I had to drop my son off at the station. Just checking out the last 5 minutes. King Machete is my band. Oh, okay. Did a gig at a mafia-owned club, supposed to be $500 in a case of beer. We got 6-pack because the owner was surrounded by goons with guns. Got a 6-pack. That's all you got. Fucking hell. I almost wouldn't care if they're mafia. I'd still be throwing hands. Might give you a job if you're crazy enough. You're soldered. I'll cut you off. Oops. Yeah, I just wouldn't leave until they paid. I'd say, nope, not going. You better bring out some goons, because I ain't leaving until I'm getting paid. Or get payment up front. Or don't play the gig. That's what Chuck Berry used to do. He'd demand payment up front in an envelope, cash. And if they couldn't produce that envelope with the right amount of cash, he just got in his car and drove home. And if they're worried about paying you up front, they're probably never going to pay you. I made $3,500 in an animation a week before I got laid off. Fucking hell. 2 shows tonight. First at 8 PM, second at midnight. One of them is going to be sloppier than the other. Put up some details for us, Lucas. Anyone in your area? Oh, hiccups. Oh. I'll start again. Lucas, put up details of your gigs and people locally can go see you. I think fuck, I've got a real job. Playing is a hobby, an expensive hobby. Yeah. Sucks, man. I'd really like to do what I can to make the industry a bit more sustainable, but it's just such a big problem, and these screws are stripped. Yay. Let's put a bit of super glue in the thread. People have to get off their ass and go watch shows, man. Do the old toothpick trick. Help if my glue wasn't blocked. It's just to hold the tweeter in there, just to block the hole. We're not going to connect it. I played a mob-owned place in New York City once in the late 80s, really scary place. You just got to be scarier than the mob guys, I think. You just got to go GG Allen on their ass, smear yourself with shit, and then none of them will fucking come anywhere near you. Led Zeppelin had Peter Grant, he'd kill you. That's right, he was a bit of a badass, wasn't he? Wasn't he the one that they like based the manager off in Spinal Tap? Never trust a man with 2 first names. Peter Grant. Just let that cure for a bit. I couldn't barely afford new sticks or heads when I was gigging in the 90s. Drag $10,000 of gear into a gig and make $200. It's criminal how little music is valued, eh? It's like people don't value experiences anymore. They just value possessions. Yeah, we don't have guns here. We don't have guns here, Wes. We do, but, you know, much less common. I watched part of Chopper again last night, speaking of fat doofuses with guns. I can't believe how good an actor Eric Bana is. I think, and this may be controversial, I think Eric Bana should be Mad Max. He's still fit. He's still respectable, not like Mel Gibson. And he's got the hardware worn look to him now because he's like, what, 50 something. I can't believe how fit he is, because I haven't paid attention, and I saw he was in a movie recently, and he's like fucking shredded, man. In the US, it's mostly pay to play. What the fuck? You've got to pay the venue to play there. What? Yeah, why does anyone do that? Just let them fail. Just let them go under. Fuck them. Pretty cool mini fest happening around the city. What city, Lucas? What city? Well, okay. Wellington, New Zealand. Sorry, I had to scroll up. Okay, so Wellington, New Zealand. Lucas is playing tonight in a mini festival around the city. Maybe put that all in one post, Lucas, in one comment, so people can go see her. There's a few New Zealanders here today. It's been that way forever. What? Pay to play, Wes? Like, people are literally paying to play. Eric Bana has that movie about his old Falcon XB coupe. Does he? I should pay more attention to Eric Bana. I sort of haven't paid much attention since, what was it, Achilles? G'day, Eric. How you going, legend? Alright, I'm going to pay attention, champions. I've got to get some shit done. I'll use my cute little ratchet. Get around that one. My little SID chrome. We've got a number on there. $12970. Beautiful little SID chrome. 1/4 inch. Yeah, pay to play has been around since the 70s. Why? Why does anyone do it? I play plenty of gigs just for free drinks. Pity the driver. Exposure? Bullshit. Fucking exposure their ass. Help if I went the right way. Exposure. I don't want to have exposure from any bar that fucking does pay to play, because that's just means you're a fucking idiot for playing there. That's anti-exposure. I just find it really curious that more promoters don't get dragged out the back of venues and get the shit kicked out of them. 'Cause that's what would happen over here. It is weird over there in the States that 21 is like the age that you're not a minor anymore. You guys have got to change that, eh? That's fucked. 21 years, man. Like, that's just weird. LA clubs on the Hollywood Strip do pay to play. That's ridiculous. You can vote and die in wars, but you can't go to a bar. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So stupid. If you're gonna send someone to war, but they can't have a drink and they can't go to a bar and see a band, that is so stupid. Can I get you out without damaging you? Because that means I'll put the new one in without damaging it. Give that a bit of a vacuum. I was watching a live stream just to check audio the other day, and I realised that with the sound cancellation, you can't even hear the vacuum. It just cancels out all the vacuum. So it looked like I was just moving the vacuum around without it being switched on. The sound, the noise suppression completely removed any vacuum noise. And it was kind of unnatural. It looked like I was just waving around a turned off vacuum like a madman. Get some compressed air. Sorry, excuse me. Random lock washer floating around. None of the screws had lock washers on the speakers. All the sockets are cross-threaded. Yay! New Zealand is all pay to play. Fuck that. Fuck that. Brad Lyle, do you have a contract clause for shit like mice, rat, roaches? I just don't take the amp in. You can smell the shit from a mile away, Scotty. Had one bloke brought in it was like a katana or something. And you could just smell that rotten cockroach, astringent, fucking horrible smell, like as soon as he walked in. And, you know, I gave him the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't him and it was the amp. But as soon as I put it on the bench, you saw the cockroach shit, like, just fall on the bench. And I looked at him and I'm like, I was beyond caring at that point. I'm just like, you live like this, man? Like, what the fuck? Get out of my shop. And just gave him back the amp and kicked him out of the store. It's like bringing a guitar in that's covered in fucking shit. And, oh, can you set my guitar up? I didn't clean it or anything, but here. Can you wipe the poo off my guitar before you set it up, please? And not charge me any more for that? New Zealand is all pay to play. Usually a small hire fee for venue in front of house. Did I already read that? I grew up in Texas and could drink when I turned 18. Then moved to Boston when I was 20 and suddenly couldn't drink again until I was 21. Man, I was at the pubs at 16. Don't tell mum and dad, alright? Not like they're watching or anything. Became a Marine at 17 years old. I could vote, own a firearm, sign contracts at 18, but I couldn't drink it till 21. That's so dumb. Any money we made went back into the band for better gear. Back in the early 70s, it was just great to be out on the road. Yeah, I guess so. Don't forget the tax man. I was going around all the music shops looking for any receipts on the floor. It's been 21 ever since I can remember. I've been 21 ever since I can remember. I don't know. I was a real... If I could go... Like, if suddenly 21-year-old me appeared next to me, I'd probably punch him. Because he was a dick. Self-obsessed, fucking self-absorbed cockhead. Woe is me, motherfucker. So what was I going to say? Lucas, you're in New Zealand. Have you been following Doom Scroll? Have you heard of that band? They used to be Red Nut. Started following him around 2020-ish. Seemed like funny dudes. So Red Nut was a band comprised entirely of redheads. Hence the name Red Nut. But they broke up and reformed into another project called Doom Scroll. And they look really good. Nice and tight. Doom Scroll. What a predictable band name. Predictable? Would you call it predictable, Wes? How can a band name be predictable? What's this band? What's their name? Doom Scroll. I've never really predicted a band name. I don't know. Normally the name's the first thing I hear. That's a nice watch. Thank you, Juan. It's my Seiko Prospects. So I thought I'd splash out and get a nice little watch. Bro, your door sign says open. You might get an eager beaver come knocking. Did I not change that? How do you know it says open? Did you drive past? What are you doing texting me? Yeah, good point. We're closed. I'll forget to change it at the end of the day. How long have we got? We've got another hour and a quarter yet. Open at 10 AM. Thanks, woman. 1.8 billion Powerball jackpot. I can purchase a lot of peace and quiet. 1.8 billion, yeah, but it's just not going to happen, so why even think about it? No roach stories, but once opened up a Standell lamp that contained about 2 platoons of spiders. They ran away as fast as I did. They were all over the house for weeks. Ugh. Be spraying the hell out of that. Buy heroin and crack legally in Oregon at any age. Really? Doom Scroll sounds like a great name. Yeah, it would be a good name for a pastry place, eh? Just got to Netty. How's your coffee? Any good, woman? Alright, we'll get rid of these chooches. Might give them 1,000 volts and see what happens. Outdoors, of course. So we'll have to install these upside down. It's alright, it's closed back anyway. And hope to shit the Studs line up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. I'm always a bit sketchy with the studs being prefixed to the cabinet instead of threaded inserts. Amazing, man. Keep up the good work. $432 million cash. What? 1.8 billion. I often think about, like, what would you have to do if you did win 1.8 billion? You pretty much have to go into hiding straight away. It would probably destroy your life, to be honest. I actually probably wouldn't wish it on anyone. I think we've talked about this before. So I mentioned my mate's mate who won, I don't know, 5 million or something. And straight away, what's the first thing you do? You plan a holiday, you go overseas and you kind of don't come back for ages. Travel the world. But she ended up with all these hangers on that she just gave money to because it was like rent a friend. And then the hangers on started like politically vying for power amongst the group dynamic, and then they all started infighting and they all fucked each other and broke up multiple weddings and relationships, and she 12 months later she came back and she had nothing and she was in debt and all these hangers on had evaporated and no one was there for her, and she was like fucking suicidal. That was just 5 million. Could have just fucking thrown it in an investment account and just lived off the interest and not work for the rest of your life. Still live pretty meagerly, but freedom. That's fuck you money. Don't collect it until January to defer taxes to 2027. Hire an attorney and financial team. Then disappear. Yeah. It'd ruin your life, to be honest. A good amount, I think, would be like 20 grand. Just like, it's not going to change much. People won't come to you expecting free shit. They'll just be like, hey, fuck yeah, get rid of some debt. Chuck some savings away, maybe plan a holiday or two. Buy one Fluke. No, buy half a Leica camera. Buy 1/4 of a Murphy Labs. Become an amp tech, yeah. It does cost a lot of money to become an amp tech. So who here has won money? I think the most money I've ever won was $1,000, because it was the Triple M competition where you tell someone's story and they win $1,000 and they get a free promo on their radio station for a week. And then they ended up stretching it out for 2 weeks, actually. They gave me a free ad on one of the most popular radio stations in Australia. And even just yesterday, a guy came in and said, yeah, I first heard about you on Triple M. I'm like, there you go. And he said, I came looking for you, I couldn't find you. Thought it would be a big shop. I'm like, no. I want $20 on a scratch ticket. You have to pay straight up 24% federal lottery taxes and state lottery taxes if your state collects them, then income tax. It's a lot more than people think. Yeah. Good. You should have to pay tax. Why should you get free shit? $20 on a Euro trip. Yeah. That's probably what I'd do. Problem is, even if I won money, if I spend a month away from the shop, people are confused and angry when I get back. Just spending a week away is bad enough. When we went to Japan, everyone's like, oh, did your shop shut down? I'm like, no, I just fucking had a holiday, man. What were we gone for? 3 weeks? The first time I ever played a pokie machine was at Schoolies, which is sort of our, like, what do you guys call it? Spring break? It's at the end of the year when you finish school anyway. So we went to the Gold Coast, typical trashy Gold Coast thing. Half of us were 18, the other half was still underage. And first time I've ever played a poker machine. I didn't even know how to do it. And we were at the Surfers Paradise Surf Lifesaving Club, having a beer, VB. Sat down and my mate, who was a gambling fucking freak addict, showed me how to play a poker machine. And the first hit, I won $165. I swear those machines can tell when you first play them, because they try and suck you in for the rest of your life. But me, being a little bit of a mathematics nerd, I understood that, well, back then, not anymore, but I understood that the odds were definitely not in my favour and it would probably never happen again. Most ever won was a 100 trip card for Sydney Monorail, which worked out as about $400. Took me 10 years to whittle away at it before I got dismantled. Monorail, monorail, monorail. We were walking around the city during Vivid, Pete, and have you seen the remnants of the monorail? There's some of them you can see. There's a building, and they've reused some of the structure from the monorail track as a historical thing. So you're walking along, and there's a big parking lot, right, like a multi-story parking lot, and they've got a little office, and you're like, that's a strange place for an office. It's sort of off to the side and facing outwards. It's not attached to the main building. It's sort of on the perimeter of the parking. Multi-level parking, and then you realise that used to be a monorail station and they've converted it to an office. I love little things like that in the city. They're all over the shop. Walk down the little alleys, you find so much cool stuff. There is still a segment of track that they left up. I think they're going to make that a sort of like a what would you call it? Just a remembery. I've got very bad remembery. Best way to double your money is fold it over and put it back in your pocket. Other than that, $100 back from 10 off the pokies, plus 2 meat trays from the raffle. One of my mates and I, we used to go to the pub for happy hour fucking every day, pretty much. I think it was at least every Thursday, and they'd do a meat raffle. We called it Thirsty Thursday. And they'd do a meat raffle, and every time the bloke who ran it, we knew who his mates were because he's just a local fucking alcoholic. He lives a couple of doors down from me now, actually. It's funny. But they'd said it was for the footy team, but I think it was just for them to make some money, and they were in cahoots with the manager who worked at the pub. And conveniently, one of their mates would win it every week. So A, they'd get all the ticket money. B, one of them would win the fucking meat raffle, and then they'd all go home and have a barbie at his place and drink beers that they bought with the money. So it was a big scam until one of my mates, he's a little bit volatile when he's on the rums. If he had pre-mixed Bundy rum, or actually it was bourbon, pre-mixed Jim Beam in the can, he'd go fucking mental and he'd want to fight someone that night. And if he had ones mixed at the bar, like a glass, he'd be alright. He was convinced there was something in the can, preservative or something, that set him off, but I reckon it was just the bar staff knew him and just put fuck all in his fuck all whiskey in his post-mix drink. But he was convinced that if he drank it from the can, he'd get aggro. So he got aggro this day and told them that he'd fucking fight them all if they win, and it's rigged and it's bullshit and fucking these are all scammers and he's going to punch on. And then that day they made sure he won it. And he didn't connect 2 and 2 and go, oh, this proves my theory. He's just like, fuck yeah, I won the meat tray. Let's go, boys. Problem solved. Monorail was a bucket of shit, but it was our bucket of shit. Pity it got ripped down. I don't think there's any rail still up. Yeah, there is. There's one section, Pete. I don't know. Well, that's a few months ago. It's sort of in the middle of nowhere too. It's only about 10 meters long or something. There's like a pylon and a small length of track. And you know, the round sort of guard that was around where the stations were, there's a bit of that there still. I think I took a photo, but it might just be on my phone. Yeah, dude, first time in a casino in Queenstown. I was 20 and won $400 on the pokies. My mate and I cashed out, went straight to the liquor store across the road, never played since. Good move, Lucas. That's how you win. You walk away. You gotta know when to hold 'em. In my home health days, I treated a fella that lived in a total crap hole. Poor guy was going through terminal lung cancer, but was a full-time gambler. Made a couple of $100,000 a year. I guess if you game it and you let it absorb every spare second of your life, you could probably figure out ways to break even or better. It sounds like a pretty sad life though. Hey Brad, how good is the quality of the Marshall JVM 410 series? Are there any other high gain amps that are built well that you could recommend? The JVMs, I'm hearing reports, although I haven't personally seen it. Look at that. I haven't personally seen it, that the boards are getting conductive. Those reports are coming from Europe, and I've got no reason to doubt the people who are saying it because they're very good techs. But I haven't personally seen it. If that is the case, they're to be stayed away. You should stay away from them. I'll report on it when I first encounter it. But they are okay sounding amps. The pots are really shitty quality. They've got split metal standoffs that hold the boards to the front panel, which can lose their tension or snap off. They're just built down to a price. But if you baby them and you're careful with them, they sound okay and they're reasonably reliable. I wouldn't pay more than, I don't know, $1,000 for one though. Gambling is dumb. My dad blew over $1 million on Jesus. All the money he got from mining gold into bloody pull tabs. What? Wife decided to go somewhere first. The rail here in Hawaii is the biggest money pit or joke. I think I told you guys about the new metro line here in Sydney. It's like a real super fast, really efficient, nice, clean, brand new train system in Sydney. It is fucking fantastic, man. It's like a lighter gauge rail, single floor. It's sort of like the trains in like Tokyo. It felt a lot like the Tokyo trains, and fuck, they hammer, man. So quick, cheap, like $1 something to go, like, you know, 5 stops or whatever. I was really impressed, and the new Sydney station has been renovated, and I am thoroughly impressed. It is really well laid out, beautiful looking, inspiring architecture. They really, you know, even the most cynical side of me was impressed by what they did. I'm proud to be a Sydney sider seeing that work go in. Sorry to rub it in, but we understand the value of trains and what they can do to a city. And I think that's a very good thing. Brad, with regard to poker machines, that's called the volatility rating. I used to work in RD design at Aristocrat. Really, Terry? The volatility rating. Holy shit, they charge too much. Are you talking about the train, Scotty? You guys have got to get trains in the US, man. It's ridiculous that you don't. You're ripping out train lines. I saw it. Where was it? They're like, oh no, the train line doesn't make enough money. Like, everything's profit driven. It's like fucking. Some things should just be state owned and just fucking not have to make money. It was actually pretty weird in Tokyo. A lot of the trains are privatized, run by private companies, and they all somehow, like, there's little disconnected train lines that are just like run from, you know, the main Shinkansen or whatever to the center of that town when you go into the smaller towns, and they're just like little privately run companies. It's really strange. No StewMac. Oh, StewMac order. Were you talking about a StewMac anywhere, Scotty, or were we supposed to just know that? Was anyone talking about StewMac? Oh, hang on. It's gone to top messages. Fuck. I changed that before, and now it's gone back. Sorry, Scotty. Yeah, I got my StewMac order. I got my nut files and net call. The net calls, these things here used to be cheap. Used to be like, I don't know, $15 or something. Now they charge a bomb for them. It's just that shitty, cheap soft timber. I don't know what it is. Real fast growing stuff. Look at the grain. Look at the rings, how far apart they are. That's how much it grows in 1 year. So some weird tropical timber. But yeah, they charge heaps for it now. So I've got that one and these two down here. I was going to make them on the CNC, but because of the 3D nature of them and how thick it is, it's actually a bit of a pain in the arse to machine timber that thick on the CNC. You can get big fuck off end mill routers, but if I'm getting my brother to machine stuff for me, it's sort of, you take what you can get. You don't want to inconvenience anyone. That's why milled aluminium. Why is a milled aluminium beam radius beam? Well, that's not even milled, Scotty. That's not milled at all. That's just extruded. So yeah, I wonder how accurate the extrusion is, because have you seen extruded large profiles of aluminium? They basically shit it out and then it's all twisted and fucked up. And then they just grab either end of it and stretch it so it goes straight. They overcharge for a lot of stuff. Yeah, they do. They overcharge for a lot of stuff. I want a set of those aluminium beams, but it's going to cost me like $2,000 to get the whole set. I still will. I'll still do it anyway. Yeah, it's just so much. It saves so much time when you're truing up a fretboard or doing a fret hone, because you can use the just dumb straight edge, but you need to be really careful and keep checking it as you go, and you got to do it slowly. And whereas if you got the big beam, you can just go fucking away we go. So yeah, I think I'll probably get that beam in like a 12" and a 9 1/4. 9.5, sorry, and maybe a 7 1/4 as well, like the common sizes, you know, to cover most Gibson and Fender stuff. Maybe even just start with a 9.5 and a 12. That'll get me out of most of the issues. Very, very accurate though. If it is as true as they say it is, that's like the best way to do a fret hone. I mean, I know machinists at Boeing that would make that stuff for me out of steel for $100. Yeah, well, like I say, it's not even milled. It's just extruded. I heard somewhere that crank amps are a good sleeper that people can get for cheap. Thoughts? Busker 24. There's a lot of cranks that are really shit. Class D output stage module, that kind of thing. There's a few that are all valve that are okay, but the construction's pretty flimsy on them. Yeah, as Scotty says, they're not built very well. I'd probably steer away from all of them, to be honest. Sort of a done deal. I do alley joinery. Extrusions are never perfectly straight, though. I'm talking 6 meter plus lengths. Yeah, I just don't know how true they'd be, Lucas. I guess all we've got to do is put a straight edge on them and have a look and see what it's like. But imagine ordering these $1 million fucking extrusions. They turn up and they're skew if, and then you got to arrange a refund or something and argue with them. Ugh. I have a JVM 410. I've had mine for over 10 years. What warning signs should I look out for in case the board starts to become conductive? So, Ty, the most obvious one's bias runaway, so you notice excessive hum, then you start blowing HT fuses. If you look in the back, you'll probably notice the valves discolouring and possible red plating during operation. increases in hum, hiss, crackling, that kind of thing. Like a lot of issues with amps, one symptom can be like 500 different causes. So just if it just starts performing differently, starts to smell or feel hotter than usual, what a lot of people should do if they've got a studio, particularly if you're using vintage amps, get yourself one of these or similar, and have your amp always plugged into that. Now, when you've had your amp serviced, just jot down, like I write on the invoice what power draw, your power consumption, your amp's pulling from the wall. So you should have it'll fluctuate a bit. You should have a reference though. So say your amp draws about 75 watts, it might go up to 78, down to 72, depending on the mains voltage. This is idle, by the way, not when you're playing it. And just when you turn it on, and just while you're playing it, or after you've finished playing it, just keep an eye on it. And if anything goes out, you'll know straight away just by looking at that. And they're like $20. You can get them on Amazon and shit. Not necessarily that exact one. The main reason I got that one is because the display is detachable, and in the old workshop I used to have the display up on a shelf. Referencing an earlier thread here, ScanSpeak is another popular European speaker driver manufacturer. Denmark seems to have quite a number of speaker manufacturers for some reason. Yeah, ScanSpeak's one of the best, man. They're fantastic. Yeah, they're readily available down here too. Any opinion on AER amps, Brad? Yeah, they're kind of, again, built down to a price, solid state things. Sorry, I thought it was going to start at 2 AM. What? Did I set the time wrong? I didn't set the time wrong, did I? Pile makes a ton of speakers for OEM too. Aren't Pile the ones that make like the consumery shitty ones though? ScanSpeak are like primo. Soldering iron on. Let's get a bit of paper towel in there. See if I can reuse some of that for the paralleling. That'll do. Yep, it'll make the distance. So did I set the time wrong, Lou? Chris? I don't know if Hepner is still in business, but they're a big OEM driver manufacturer based in New York. If they're based in New York, they probably don't exist anymore, because New York is just for Starbucks and Chase Banks now. Nothing else. You can't actually do anything in New York anymore except invest money and drink coffee. I thought it was a morning stream. Really? Fuck. I wonder what I did there. It has been defaulting to times when maybe that's why no one was here when I started. Defaulting to times when I set it, it goes back to the default, which is annoying. Oh well, I can't see it now because it's live. Sorry everyone. I'll learn how to do this YouTube thing one of these years. Silly duffer I am. Pile are the only ones I found that fit the GK250. Sometimes they're the only choice. Oh man, I hate it when one wire takes all the credit. When you're twisting a wire, you want them both to twist. But sometimes one wire goes straight like that. Nothing pisses me off more than that. Nothing. I sometimes think it's the wire is slightly heavier gauge in one than the other, or the plasticizer is stiffer on one due to the color. I don't know. Really annoying. And it looks amateur. Thanks for the live stream, Brad. Bedtime here in Scotland. Nighty night, Martin. Take it, Squeezy legend. Sweet dreams. Alrighty then. Positive shorter than negative. $12 off. Fuck. Well, you know when I stream, champions. 7 AM. Hang on, I put it in the thumbnail. Didn't I? 7 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Just use the time conversion website to figure out what your local time is. Because I'm too stupid to set the time correctly on YouTube. It's actually why I started doing the stream starting soon screen. So everyone gets a notification when it actually does go live. Or it should anyway. The notifications usually don't work either. It's weird that they've never got on top of that. I don't. All the other channels say it too. The notifications don't work properly. Yeah, so everyone gets a notification when I start the stream, but the starting's just a welcome screen. And have time for everyone to gather and start chatting, and I'm not just starting with no one here. What fancy amp is this? It's not very fancy, it's an Ashdown acoustic. Oh. Didn't tin that wire very well, did I? It's a bit tricky getting down here. Up in there, up in there. You're going to make me wire the speaker. Good, good. The solder's taking to the terminal. Sometimes the Eminence drivers in particular are like solder phobic. Gotta like Scotch Brite them to get anything to stick. Put a bit of paper towel under there so no flux flies at the cone. Should have done that for that one, but I forgot. Got to fit you there. Can I pass two through this eyelet, or is it too tight? Too tight. You arsehole. Can't get two leads through the eyelet. This will have to fold over. Fold over and mold over. No, that's not going to work. I fucked it. Not enough bare lead. What a fiddly fucking asshole of a job this is. They could just have the eyelet big enough for 2 wires, but no. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's better. Have you ever worked on a Hughes and Kettner Triant that looked different and interesting? Yeah. I can't remember what was wrong with it. Very complex amps. Anytime you go over 2 channels and go for 3 independent channels, the complexity level goes through the roof. Hughes and Kettner stuff's generally pretty good, but with massive complexity comes increased repair costs if anything does go wrong, and it is a valve amp. They've got the stupid cold cathode fluorescent tubes, which like to break and fail, and you got to replace them with some other solution like an LED or something to make the front panel go all glowy. They look a bit gaudy in my opinion, but what do I know? Did I hear something rolling around? Yeah, little bits of dust and shit. Alright, which lead was positive? So that was positive, that was negative. LS for loudspeaker. Negative on the back. Positive on the front. Get in my belly. There we go. Alright, everything's connected other than the pissy little tweeter. Let's fire it up and have a listen before I put the back cover back on. Oh look, control panel's filthy. What is that? It looks like soot, like smoke. Maybe it was used by a campfire or something, I don't know. I've got a shorter lead, this one's comically long. Used to have like a 2-foot lead, but I don't know where that's gone. Volume all the way up. What do you do when you don't get any signal? Just turn everything all the way up. We have noise. It's right near the LED. So that makes sense. I'll just grab the electric guitar. Should I get an acoustic? Nah, too hard. Ah, that's right. The jack's broken off in the input. I'll go to the instrument input. That's probably clipping because I've got so much makeup gain. Just one sec. I think that's all good. We just got to fish that jack tip out of there, clean the front panel, and put the back on. Makes some funny noise. Doesn't have a relay on the output. Alright, so how do we get this plug tip out? Interesting Tolex. Yeah, you can buy this stuff. This amp is making me itchy. Itchy Nissan. Must have pets. Oh. Another repair I have to do is a Behringer F1320D monitor. Customer states it's super sensitive and goes into feedback quite easily. Feedback? I haven't been able to find a schematic, but power section seems fine since it powers, but I can confirm it seems a little sensitive with feedback. What do you mean with feedback? Preamp board has a lot of SMD and radial caps. Not sure how much I can resolve with it if it isn't just inherent to the design. How would you go about deducing the possible causes? I don't know if it's too broad a question, but I'm definitely interested in any input. Well, I would put it in the bin because it's a Behringer. Sorry, I don't accept any Behringer stuff here. It all goes in the fucking bin. Brad playing Noodles again. This is every tech. That is every tech's favourite song. Every tech plays the same shit, do they? Alright, so to get this jack tip out, we might try the heated bus wire solution. Or maybe there is no jack tip stuck in there. Is it just a fuck jack? Looks okay. Let me just try that again. No, it goes in. It's just feels a bit chewy. I'll be damned. Let's just check the mic input with a microphone, eh? It's a little nod to one of the hottest women on the planet, Nigella Lawson, and her microwave. You know what? Here's a good mic to test it with because it's the mic and the plug in one. Has it got phantom power? Yes, it does. Let's test it with this. What do we got? A strong, P-strong. It's always good when you're P-strong. Sorry, zoomed too far for the poor little lens. Come on, panny boy, fucking wake up. A P-strong PPM 827. Unidirectional. Oh, well, that's not good because that's going to feed back. Oh, big thump there on turn on. Jesus. Fucking piece of shit. This is why you don't fix Ashdowns. Don't fix Ashdowns or Behringers because they all suck. I did test for DC offset because that's the first thing you suspect when you blow a speaker up. There's a massive pulse there on input. On power up, I mean. There's no voltage. It just shit design power supply. Just gives a massive fucking burst through the speakers when you first turn it on of DC offset until a power supply stabilizes. Just bad design. Shit design. Alright, mic input. There we go. Hello. I feel like I'm playing one of those vocalizer things. What are they called? Hello. Hello. Hello, Clarice. Sounds a bit limited in the top end. Like maybe it did need that tweeter. Hello. Yo, yo, yo. Testing, testing. 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 Oh, testing. Is it? Hey, yeah. Sounds a bit shit. Is there DC on that auxiliary input? There's pots that are scratchy, but then there's pots that have like a grind to them, like it's a different sound. Which one's that? It's that one. 6 millivolts. Got 6 millivolts on it. It could be an issue. Everything's got 6 millivolts on it. Now, well, here's what it is. Twir what it twir. Fuck, that's a horrible sound. Loud ringing when you put a mic close enough to the speaker to oscillate. Well, of course it's going to feedback. I don't know if there's something I'm missing there, but yeah, things are going to feed back when you just don't do that. Any tube rectified 100 watt amps. Well, yeah, well, a twin. It's like 80 watts. Picked up a plush P1000 that eats tubes, has wrong PT, and B plus is 540. PT has a 5 volt winding and is not a plush labelled unit. Wondering about the donor amp. Plush. Never heard of them. P1000. I mean, 540 volts is okay. Okay, so you're trying to determine what amp the transformer came from. So 100 watt amp with 5 volt winding. Not sure, man. 540. It's pretty up there in voltage. Unless it was... no, that would be the other way around. If it was like a transformer designed for a voltage doubler, it would be too lower voltage and too higher current. Oh, sure, man. Something weird. Could be, if it's a laydown type, it could be like out of a Messer or something. Because, yeah, the triple rectifiers and that, they've got massive 5 volt windings there for the rectifier, because they've got 3 of them. But the voltages wouldn't be that high because they're only in sort of low 400s. That's why Messers all claim unrealistic wattage outputs. So yeah, it's a 150 watt amp. You measure it and it's like 85. Right, next I've got finally got that little switch in for the Hughes and Kettner Tube Meister. So we'll just put that proper switch in there. Remember last time I fixed the switch just as a proof of concept to make sure it all worked. And it did, but I didn't want to leave that switch in. I wanted to put a new one in there because in the process of cleaning that corrosion off, we've taken off the plating, so it's got raw base metal exposed, which will give issues in the future. Twin reverb copy. Huh. Rip Mark Flo Volman. I don't know who that is, but yes, rest in peace, whoever it is. Unless he was an arsehole, which I assume he wasn't. Now I'm trying to explain what I mean by feedback. Oscillation, not what caused the feedback. Oscillation, not what caused the feedback. It still occurs with the mic 15 feet away, and the monitor isn't even loud enough to be picked up by the mic and oscillate. Well, clearly it is. So there's probably compression happening in there, in the box. The type of feedback that occurs when one puts the mic close to the speaker is the type of behavior this monitor is demonstrating even when the mic isn't even close. There must be compression built into it. So if you've got not much volume, but if you've got a fuck ton of compression, that'll do it. It's probably got some dumb compressor in it, being a Behringer. Co-founder of the Turtles and Flow of Flow. The Fluorescent Leech. Okay, these are all speaking another language at the moment. I don't know who that is, but I'll look into it. No, I won't. Came out this week that the police found that Brent Hines was at fault in that car accident because he was doing about 3 times the speed limit. So everyone that was saying don't ride motorcycles because they're dangerous, well, yeah, they are particularly dangerous when you drive like a silly bugger. Yeah, probably so, because the audio coming out of the speaker is about talking volume. Do you have a schematic for that unit? Probably not. You could determine from the schematic if it's got dynamics. Right, that can go away. Can have his transformer back because I don't want it. Alright, Hughes and Kettner. I got approval on pretty much every job that I sent quotes for this week. Which means I probably should up my rates. 6. Here you go, legend. You mean to tell me the emotional, unstable, arrogant dude who rode a bike twice the speed limit sans helmet? Yeah, that's when people just reflexively say motorcycles are dangerous, you shouldn't ride them. Well, how about I wear protective equipment and I obey the road rules and I'm hyper vigilant? I think that might help. Always forget that Brad isn't Gen X, even though his attitude is Gen X. Am I really Gen Xy? Gen Xy? Because I don't know, what would you say defines like Gen X's attitude? Sort of like a bit nihilistic, I guess. Been telling me to up my rates for years, and I have upped them, Wes. I've increased a lot of stuff recently. So much so that one lunatic got upset that I didn't charge him the same for a replacement nut as I did 4 years prior. Fucking lunatic. I should share his channel so you can go and laugh at him. He's another YouTuber, or wannabe YouTuber anyway. You're a millennial, same as me. Yeah, I know I'm a millennial, but what Scotty's saying is that my attitude is apparently Gen X. I did just get it yesterday, so I only had time to confirm complaint and get the PCBs out to inspect. Pessimistic and other gens disgust us with their stupid self-absorption or greed. I guess, well, I grew up on the Gen X thing, you know, like watching Daria and fuck, what am I thinking of? Beavis and Butthead and stuff on Gen X, and I'm almost 60. I don't know, you're not self-absorbed enough to be Gen X. I think that's why they created such good art, though, Six. Because they were so tuned out to the world and just, they were so self-absorbed, and that actually generated some pretty decent art. Not a nihilist. Yeah, I don't think I'm nihilistic. Not most days, anyway. Maybe if I didn't get coffee. The new Beavis and Butthead revival is so damn good. Have you watched the, I know it's just revival after revival, but have you watched the King of the Hill yet? I've seen some shorts and stuff. It looks pretty funny. I can't believe Simpsons is still going. It's been fucking... Has anyone, like literally anyone, watched a Simpsons episode for the last 20 years? Mike Judge doesn't miss. No, he doesn't often, does he? I'm not self-absorbed, but I am rather absorbent. Well, at your age, Wes, you probably should be a bit absorbent, eh? Avoid any embarrassing situations. I'm Gen X, I'm taking notes about the things I'm supposed to be. It's such a Gen X thing to say there, Ian. Haven't seen the new King of the Hill, but everyone is singing its praises. Yeah, it looks pretty funny. It's kind of, I like the Mike Judge stuff because the characters age. Like the Simpsons non-aging thing is getting a bit fucked. Like it's a bit, just doesn't make sense anymore. I know it never sort of did, but it's getting to the point where it's sort of unworkable. Now, what did I take that off? Oh yeah, to measure with my bias probes. My proprietary patented bias probes. Simpsons has actually looped back around to being, oh really, being good. The new writers are our age and grew up in on the golden era, so they're channeling the good era. Really? Huh. I tried watching Bob's Burgers, but it was too cringe. I didn't like the animation style. Futurama. Yeah, it was pretty good, eh? I didn't like it at first because it was like, oh, I want it to be Simpsons. But then the more I watched it, the more it made me laugh. Alright, so we'll be careful with this LED strip. What I might do, I should have left the cover back on actually. I kind of need both covers to be off at once though to do this. That's a horribly bendy bit of wood. You and you. You'll do. Bit of Indian maple wood. Marble wood, sorry. Maple wood. A little bit tricky little arseholes to work on these things, but Futurama is pretty solid. Reboot is pretty solid, like it despite what many say. Don't date robots, yeah. Some people fucking need that lesson, don't they? Sad fucks. Some of the early episodes are pretty cringe, though. I blame Jean. I watch a stick figure series on YouTube called Veronica. She fights with her boss in the short cartoons. Yeah, I agree, Wes. Make something new. I think a lot of it's comfort food. When the world gets all fucked up, everyone goes looking for comfort food and nostalgia. Looks like walnut. Does a bit till you look close. The grain's very tight and like closed, smaller grain. Not as open grain as walnut, and it's more of a red colour. Like a pinky red. Walnut does vary a lot, but it's more like a warm, actually almost like a neutral brown. Like almost purple sometimes. Alright, I remember you. I remember you. Is that Frank Ifield? Bob's Burgers takes time to warm up and hit its stride. It's an honest series that has great vibes and doesn't throw any punches at people. It's a particular type of humour though, yeah. They remade Naked Gun, give me a break, yeah. My Amtech is so much like Hank Hill. I won't tell him that though. Ain't nothing like a good butane regulator. Was he like, he was unofficially the old guy out of Beavis and Butthead, wasn't he? What was his name? Mr. Anderson? There was Mr. Anderson. And what was the principal's name? Oh, Beavis and Butthead! Oh, you're expelled! Ted, that's bait. Okay, what's Ted baiting? Velma is better than Bob's Burgers. Okay. Wasn't Velma out of Bob's Burgers? I don't know. Can't stand Rick and Morty. Yeah, I haven't got into it. It's a bit, it's a lot. It's pretty fast. Capitalism is the reason we don't have any new stuff being made, plain and simple. There's a lot of great indie stuff out there but gets no funding. Yeah, people just go... Mr. McVicker, that's right. People just go with the safe bet, eh? Risk-averse, fucking boring horse shit. Yay! We're not risk-averse around here, are we, champions? We love risk. With other people's money. Hey, got the right one first go. Family Guy is the best. I can't watch Family Guy, to be honest. The fucking tangents are like cringe as fuck. Oh, that's like that time, eh? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Family Guy's a bit too much. What? What are you talking about, Sergeant Grinch? Oh, you're recovering. Okay, I need a few months to fully recover. I didn't realise I was close to death when I was in the hospital. What? Bleep blorp. Mark. We need some new animation and horror franchises. Well, do we have to have franchises, or can we just have one-off pieces of art? Don't you dare diss the greatest Star Trek series. I haven't seen it. Deep Space Nine. Comic book guy. Was that, what, a side thing of the comic book guy out of The Simpsons? Is that a customer here already? No, must be one of the other shops. Got to remove the knob. How you going, Ted, by the way? And Mark, I don't think I said hello before. Cooking another brisket, mate? It's like you do one every day. Okay, this feels suspiciously firm. Out it came. Just double check we've got no stray voltages. On the ground point. Pin 1. Oop, helps if you turn it on. That's a preamp valve. 1 millivolt. One millivolt. You hate Deep Space Nine, love HTF. What's HTF? And think Family Guy's peak. I can't take any media it takes you up seriously after that. Hey, each to their own. I had 3 infections at one time. Jesus, they infected my heart and my heart was going haywire. It stopped beating, then would restart. Jesus. When was this, Sergeant Grinch? Not smoking anything till next week. Oh, really? No hate for Deep Space Nine, just never connected with it. Be nice, guys. No one's having a go at anyone. It's all right. We're all just joking around, Wiz. Have no sense of humour. Oh, he does. He does, Scotty. Six has got a massive sense of humour. How the fuck else can someone honestly think they can make a living from being a tech? You've got to have a sense of humour. Oh, mercy. Let's get that lead out. Okay, that's transformer secondary red. It won't tell me what's red and what's not, so I'll take a quick photo. Oh, what? I pressed the home button instead of the take photo button. Three weeks ago, Jesus, Sergeant Grinch, we almost lost you. Doing all right now, mate? You must be doing okay if you're on the interwebs. Oh, come on. I hate when spade connectors are really tight, because you take them off and your hand flies away and fucking destroys something. I'm just going to leave them on. So yeah, down here, I think we went over it last time, but down here is where the cathode current sense resistors and the MOSFETs in the cathodes are situated. So often with these you get all sorts of problems. It won't start up, it goes into protect mode, blows fuses, red plates, whatever. It can be these FETs gone short circuit because one of the valves has probably gone short and taken one out. They have transistors switching them, which is I think this bank over here. I'd have to double check the schematic to find out which one's which. There's a bunch of transistors in this area. But they switch the MOSFETs, which turn the cathodes on and off, and basically turn your valves on and off in pairs, or entirely if you're running in silent mode. Okay, chat stopped working on my phone. I'm going to have to close it and reopen it because it's not getting any new messages. and then it defaults back to top messages because for some reason YouTube doesn't want us to read everything. Alright, we're back. Just extremely weak. Sleep 10 to 12 hours a day. Jesus, take care of yourself, buddy. What is Deep Space Nine? That's Star Trek series, but what's good or bad about it? Like, are the series that different that like you can love one and hate another one? I'm not a Star Trek guy. I don't know. I've never seen an episode. Well, it's almost time to go, champions. 5 minutes. Space soap opera. Okay. Aren't they all sort of soap opera-y, though? I mean, isn't that the whole thing with it being a series? I love that the most passionate thing that people are arguing about on today's stream is which Star Trek's good and bad. Fuck you guys are nerds. This is like a script from a Big Bang Theory episode. Nerds. I am going to abandon the electronics bench today, and I'm going to go over to the guitar bench and do a bunch of setups, a couple of rewires, because the guitar jobs are building up. I've been in electronics mode for pretty much the last week and a half. Oh, out she goes. So I've got to get back onto the guitars. And that might actually be a nice little chill out thing too, because the electronics can get... Oh, fuck off. It's the wrong switch. Okay, it's got extra sections at the back. So I can just disconnect them, because if you remember, when we disassembled this switch, there was another set of contacts at the back, so I can just cut those pins off. So it's got... This is a 4-pole dual throw switch. I'm a hardcore nerd, kind of goes with the territory. Yeah. So if I cut them off, and don't put the cut-off lead in the amp chassis, floating around waiting to short something out and give me a very bad day, this will work just fine. It's almost like if you're going to buy one of these switches and stock it, just stock the 4-pole one and you can just do that to it. In she goes, like a rubber nose up your hose or something. Framing, you fuck. Get in my belly. Boom. Oh, what? The switch tip's bigger. It's no good. Fuck me. Data sheets, bro. Data sheets. Who would have thought the only fucking illuminated... Look, it's bigger. Fuck this shit. That's not going to fucking work. Won't go through the chassis. Alright, well, I don't think this switch is even available in that point, because this was the only one with any parameters, even close to being the right type. So, in the bin it goes. Yeah, we've fucking modified it. The only other thing I can do is change the fucking tip over from this one onto that one. Fuck's sake. Good way to end the stream, eh? Complete fuck up. Fuck, I hate ordering parts, man. Ideally, you could go to Hughes and Kettner and say, give me that switch, but like they give a fuck about me. This whole fucking thing's got to come apart if we're going to try that. Alright, I'm going to end it here because I'm going to be staring at this thing very closely, so it's not going to be very conducive to video content. So yeah, you can get the parts, contact music and audio in Brookvale. Yeah, yay, and order another one, pay $15 postage on top of $15 for the part and wait another fucking 2 weeks. Great. I'll just change the actuator over and call it a day, eh? Anyway, a bit of a weird stream today, a bit of a strange vibe, a little bit ranty, a little bit aggressive. I think I should take a chill pill next weekend before I do it and just relax a bit more. Bit of a strange vibe today. And, I don't know, maybe I just need to have some good old-fashioned kicking on with some jobs streams, I think. Doing this weird stop-start crap and annoying sort of barely profitable jobs just gives you a strange vibe altogether. But anyway, thanks Brad. Watch your language when it's over. Take a my doll. What's that? Great chat. Yeah, great chat. Not so much content from my point of view, but at least you guys had fun chatting to each other. Just remember to get a dog up. Yeah, Wes. I will, mate. I think I just need more sleep. Gotta stop waking up at 4 AM, 5 AM. Might have an early night tonight. Now I'm an old man. Look it up. Maybe after. Alright, legends, we'll take it easy. Enjoy your weekend. And, be good to your mother or someone else's mother. See you on Lyle's stream in the chat tomorrow. I'll probably not wake up till 6 o'clock though. So you'll be in there for 2 hours before I arrive. And, yeah.